All right, everybody, welcome to episode 23 of Pardon the Dashboard. With me today, I have IXI Sweat, fellow veteran and co-host.
What's going on, guys?
I have ChaosMath, reoccurring guest.
What's happening, everyone?
And also with me, I may have somebody here that you may have heard about. His name is WoodysGamertag.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Good? Thank you for coming on. So this first topic is going to be all about redundancy, because I'm sure anybody that's watching this video already knows who you are, but I like to do that. So let's be redundant. Woody, how did you start in YouTube, and what has made it grow to the point that it is now?
I started in YouTube because I was a Hutch fanboy. I would watch his videos, and not just Hutch, you know, XCal, the guys that you might not know, Beyond, and Blame Truth, and I would watch the videos that they uploaded and just like dream of playing in the same games as them. I would click like, I would leave happy comments all the time. I kind of think they sort of like recognized my old username on YouTube, but like if you're just a happy and supportive sub, I didn't feel like I'd ever be this like peer, this guy that they'd want to pick up and add to their Call of Duty games. And like Hutch, for example, I was like, man, if this guy just picks up a sniper and gets 40 kills every game, we'll never lose. I want to be in his lobby. So like the whole original purpose of my channel was to somehow become friends with these really, really cool people who had like literally hundreds of subs. And
literally hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds, like unbelievable numbers. So yeah, so I made my channel and started posting videos, and the whole unexceptional gamer thing was like a counter to people saying you're not good enough to be on YouTube. It was like my preemptive strike. This notion that like, if I let people know up front, like, look, I'm not pretending to be Blame Truth. You know, I'm not pretending to be some giant of gaming. I'm just me doing my channel the best I can. Then people won't hate and say, dude, you know, I Blessed is better than you. So yeah, that's how I started, and you know, I just wanted to be like part of the commentator community. So,
what was the inspiration behind you starting the name WoodysGamertag?
So my original gamer tag was like my actual like birth certificate name, and
with your social on the end, right?
Yeah, and my blood type and address, the whole thing. So that was my original gamer tag. And in my head, it was this like, you know, I behave myself appropriately. I don't mouth off in lobbies most of the time. I'm a responsible, respectable guy, and I have no problem putting my name out there. And then I read this cracked.com article on what your gamer tag says about you, and it said that using your real name is a person who's old, who thinks that it means that he's respectable, but actually is just not with it. And I'm like, oh my God, they hit the nail on the head. So that was when I changed it to what is perhaps the least inspired gamer tag in the community, just Woody's Gamertag.
Well, now I'm worried. Am I old?
Yeah. You're not 7,000.
I actually almost went with MERRELL's gamertag. I almost did that, not even thinking, and like I found out about you like a couple weeks after. I'm like, thank God that I didn't do that.
Yeah, I do. Every now and then I see like Mike's gamertag get hated on, as if I own exclusive rights to the idea of named gamertag.
I think you do now. At this point, it's yours. In the same way that the letter O is Onslaught's.
Yeah. Oh, you know, when we played Halo, like the first thing I did is grab this super ugly armor combination. It was like yellow, orange, and pink or something like that. And I'm like, this is mine. From now on, anyone who else looks like this is copying me. You know, like I am laying claim to this horrible non-matching armor.
So how have your YouTube videos changed from when you started to where you are now?
So, and I think a lot of channels go through this evolution, like, and it's probably the right way to do it. When you start a YouTube channel, no one cares about you. They don't know you. They just want to know what you can do for them. So my original videos were all about tips and tricks. They were just control the engagement. I had this like 90-second spiel I'd start every video with, like, hey, I don't pretend to have really great aim, but I have some success by using tactics and knowledge, yada, yada, yada. And then I would go on and explain why I did the things I did. I did that for, I don't know, 75 videos or so. And then the mood starts to change. And I still do some of that. Sometimes I do that exclusively with like a quick tips video. Sometimes I'll just commentate a game and talk about, you know, why I'm doing what I did, like today's video. Other times, you know, it's sharing whatever philosophies, what I have, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm seeing around me, because you start to grow a relationship with your subscribers. And it's not just nade spots. It's, you know, like, hey, I'm kind of curious about this guy who told me about the nade spots too.
And it's really interesting. Like your channel develops a personality that I think that that you didn't really originally intend to be there. You know,
It does. And sometimes it can box you in a little bit as well. Like, you know, sometimes I'll have these new ideas like, hey, here's something new in video making that I didn't do before. And they'll be like, no, Woody, you know, that door's closed for you. That's not what we expect. It's like, wait a minute, you know, give me a few videos. I'll get good at this too. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's move on to our next topic here, which is titled YouTube fame. And I think with 500,000 subscribers, right, that you're sitting at right now, how many subscribers?
460, something like
460, yeah.
I think it's safe to say that you've reached some type of celebrity status, you know. And
my wife calls me a minor league international celebrity.
Lovely.
I know Ben here has some to contribute to that. Ben, what did you do when you accidentally got in the game with Woody's Gamertag?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't join session or anything, but Woody, it was last week. We played a ground war with you, and I had to check and make sure, and it was your little towel with the L hands.
Please
or whatever.
tell me I was cool.
Yeah. You were went like 2.1 or something. I don't. Not that I looked or anything that you went 2.16 KD, but not that it's not saved right now. Even though I had a shitty game as Woody's Gamertag game or anything. But yeah, you know, none of us here except you can have that impact on people, you know, or you know, be recognized in a lobby to that extent where I'll save the shittiest game I've ever had just because I can say I was in a game with you.
Was I a good guy? Like, that's way more important to me than my KD. Like, I don't know. Like, so look, I'm not actually famous. You know, I don't walk around the streets wearing dark sunglasses hoping not to get noticed. That I rarely ever get noticed just walking around. But when I'm playing Call of Duty, it's, I don't know, to say it's every lobby would be an exaggeration. It's maybe 90-95% of the time the lobby, like someone in there will know me. And it just means like I have to behave, you know, I have to be a good guy, I have to be friendly. Even when people are mean, you know, I respond with, you know, ridiculous stuff like, hey man, we got off on the wrong foot. You know, you sure we can't be friends? I just fucked your mother. I'm like, now we have something in common. You know, like, you know, we're a lot closer than I realized. Like, you know, so it's almost a downside of that because I had this fear like the one time I'm too grumpy to behave myself that you know, whatever, I'll be recorded and uploaded and someone will expose the true Woody or whatever. Yeah, and I fear that. So yeah.
So how has it changed? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, you know, just 2 nights ago actually, I fussed at a guy on my team. We were playing Sabo on firing range, and he sat there in the corner of the trailer. You know, when you walk in the door to your right, there's like 6 feet. He played there the entire game. He never left his spot. And his KD wasn't terrible, but he was like 5-2. And I'm like, come on, man. You know, we're playing a man down. And then suddenly 3 of his teammates started jumping all over me, and I argued back. And you know, I wasn't the man I wanted to be, although I was right. I was right. He had Ghost on. He had a silencer. He was sitting in that trailer camping his Claymore.
Champ.
And
that is a true champion.
Yeah, he was everything that people who play this game a lot fuss about. You know, sitting there in a corner camping, waiting for people to walk past the door.
Legitimate strategy.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to be the dick that screams at everybody in the lobby, but you know, yeah. I think everybody has that competitor in them. At least I know I do. You know, I like to win whenever I play. So, you know, somebody's not pulling their weight. I don't know. I guess I just want to put them in their place. But I can understand how somebody with 460,000 subscribers would be upset about somebody.
Sabo has that respawn delay. So every time I died, I would sit there looking through his eyes, down sights at the door, waiting for the guy to come through. I just kept bouncing on that guy every time, and he was never moving.
Well, but we actually did not give this topic purpose in its beginning, but it was. We do want to know, like, how does it affect, you know, that YouTube fame affect your gaming on a day-to-day basis?
It doesn't. Like, so there was a time when, yeah, I guess I would try to make every game so wonderful. I would try to pull high KDs. I would, you know, feel extra pressure to be in the lobby. And I've kind of gotten past that. I've gotten past caring about my own stats, although I kind of look at my win-loss. You know, like, I try different guns. The way that I work with guns is I'll use the same gun again and again and again until I feel like I've figured out how to use it well. And then I might talk about it online. So, you know, like, yeah, if I switch over to dual Scorpions, which actually are better than you might guess, I'll suck with them for quite some time, and I just forgive myself. Like, look, that's going to happen. How does it affect me? While I'm gaming, pretty much just behave myself in lobbies. Try to be
Yeah.
cool. I pick up guys if they know me sometimes, so that I whatever play with them, and I don't know, just don't
Do you
be a
stay
jerk.
in do you stay in game chat? Because I was on the other team
Hmm.
actually, and I switched to I think I switched to an M60 and shot in the air the whole time so you wouldn't get mad at me. But like you stay in game chat the whole time, like you don't like just party
Almost
up.
always. Yeah, 90% of the time I stay in game chat. Recently, I've been trying to do. You know how White Boy talks to himself sometimes during the thing, or Onslaught during his Road to Commander type thing. I've been doing that a little bit, and whenever I do, like everyone in the lobby's like, Woody, talk to me, Woody, 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 can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I can, but I'm trying to get some footage here. So
Woody's busy.
but usually I'll bounce out of there and pop into game chat and whatever, because I don't want to be that jerk that, like, people are excited to see me, and you have to, I don't know, honor that responsibility. Don't just sit there and do the equivalent of not sign autographs. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Do you think you've noticed that your win loss has sort of just never really been in danger since your fame has kind of grown? Because it seems like you probably I would assume pretty much you could pick up the best players out there, like pretty much at will, because pretty much everybody knows you and would love to play with you. Like one of the
I,
problems I have is I'm just starting now to be able to get in a party and play with some people. Like when I first started out, it was just like random, random, random. I couldn't get anybody to play with. So what do you find that?
I could, the thing is, when you do that, people don't like to watch those videos all the time. Like, I'm always recording. So if I sat there and, like, lately I've gotten to know a lot of MLG level players, they're just amazing. And, they walk around with like M14s or something and pull
Yeah,
insane,
buddy.
stupid games.
Jesus,
But,
not this again.
if I uploaded videos to my channel being like, hey, yeah, it's just me and Team Optic, running around on some domination in pub matches, then everyone gets mad. They don't want to see that. So I roll solo a bunch, or lately I've been rolling with one friend, and that makes it a little more competitive, a little more balanced.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's move on to our next topic here, because a video came out this week for Battlefield 3 multiplayer. Did you get a chance to see that, Woody?
Oh, many times.
Yes.
What are you most excited about based off of what you've seen in this video?
Oh, tough questions. So, like, what was really cool about that video was the look of it. It looked amazing. And some guys say the looks don't matter, but they really do. They add to the environment, they add to it. The sound was good on it too. They're My experience, and I'm always careful to talk about Battlefield because I have, like, I don't know, 2 days played or something in Battlefield and Medal of Honor combined. So there are guys out there with 19 days who say, Woody, you just don't know what you're talking about. And I'll tip my hat to them and say I don't know what they know. But it's 30 frames per second, which causes your character to move a little slower, at least on the console version. The maps are gigantic, so the play rate can be kind of slow. I personally am not, I guess, sharp enough with the vehicles to use them to their maximum advantage, which slows down the game some more. Sometimes I'll sit there
Yeah.
sprinting for like 2.5 minutes, and it's like, really, this is fun to you? Like, so I'm definitely getting Battlefield. I'm definitely excited about it. They were brilliant to come out a few weeks before Call of Duty so that everyone can give it a shot and really get engaged to it. What has me excited? The look, the feel, the fact that it's coming out. I can't wait for it. What has me worried, which you didn't ask, is my previous experience with the Battlefield franchise. And, hopefully it, that the problems I had before are not, there anymore. Or maybe the problems are just in me, and that I learned to use the vehicles and shrink the map.
Yeah. Well, Ben Chaos, I know you guys were talking about it before we even started. What was most exciting? I know y'all were talking about the jets, and I was
Yeah.
saying, sorry, but I was saying that if anybody is good with the jet, I'm automatically going to think they're a jackass because I know I'm going to crash that thing every time I step inside of it.
Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, I obviously, thought it was amazing looking too, and I really just so hoping that game is going to kick ass and that it actually has a chance to bring some variety to YouTube too, where a mass audience is going to watch it. But yeah, I mean, the jets, I'm pretty sure, I'm not a Battlefield expert either, but I'm pretty sure that you haven't been able to do a jet since 1942.
Yeah.
So I think that's that was a pretty big reveal for this trailer, that people are going to be able to get in jets, and I think it's gonna create a really, really crazy multiplayer experience if you've got choppers, tanks, now you've got jets dropping napalm on people and surface to air and air to air battles. I mean, it really, I think, is going to take it to a whole nother level.
That's another.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jason. That's just I'm so ready for like Chaos said, something new, but just the entire aspect, like every single part of it, the air, the ground level, the tanks, infantry, all that kind of stuff. The only thing I wonder about is like them going into prone, like how much that slows down the pace. Like what he said, it's already like a slow game. And the fact that now, prone's implemented, and that's not all I heard, but that's some of what I heard about the alpha was, the pace was slowed even more because just random places you got somebody laying down prone, sniping behind a rock or something.
Yeah, and that was the thing with sniping and Bad Company was it was difficult to spot them in the first place. You have the little spot mechanic, but you always knew they were either kneeling or standing. And you could kind of pick out the silhouette, like based off of that. But with them being able to be prone, I think that's going to be a problem. And what also worries me in the Battlefield series is that I don't think they prepare for people to be as good with the vehicles as some of them can be. Like, you get somebody that's a badass in the helicopter, they rule the whole game.
They never come down.
No,
they're
ever.
just if there were chopper gunners that just respawned and sat around at your own spawn in Call of Duty,
man.
Like that would be frustrating, right?
Yeah, your entire team would sit there.
Doesn't that happen in Battlefield? Like, isn't that
I think
what you do?
There needs to be like really effective countermeasures to the air support. That's what I think.
Well, I think that there are. I think a lot of it is, like what he's saying, is just player ignorance. Like, I know that I think I heard Ivan talking about how there's all these anti-air installations hanging around. It's just nobody bothers to hit them. But yeah, like I remember seeing a video with Wings just sitting in a chopper for like 5 minutes, just on killing people. Oh yeah, over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean they've got to figure that out. Because I mean, just imagine chopper gunners, on spawns. But
they're gonna have lobbies. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're gonna have lobbies with without vehicles, which is probably what I'm going to spend a majority of my time in. I'm not even
That's true.
Joking around about that. Like, I'll do a lot of just, straight gun on gun.
You're done.
That would be a good idea if they shrunk the map size for those.
One thing that...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was a spot there. But in my little, sphere of visibility, a lot of guys fuss when you compare Call of Duty to Battlefield. And I imagine there are at least some people out there who are going to listen to this and be like, they're totally different games. How you can't compare them? Don't do that. It's so terrible. Why do people compare things to Call of Duty? I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum to that line of thinking. Like, two things, right? One, I could compare Call of Duty to a freaking orange. I could do weight and color and all sorts of things. And then and the other part of it is Call of Duty and Battlefield. Are there two games that exist on planet Earth that are more similar than these? Is there anything more like Call of Duty than Battlefield? I can't think of it. They're both sort of modern.
Medal of Honor.
Brownish.
What a fantastic game.
Don't get me started.
They're both like modern infantry. The weapons are a lot the same. The strategies, they're first-person shooters. These games have a lot in common. If someone says they're totally different and that they can't be compared, what exactly is fair game to compare?
Yeah.
Anything? I'm at a loss.
That's true.
It's true. It's like Coke and Pepsi. They're both soda.
They're
both
very pretty
similar.
much damn taste the same.
They're really similar.
Okay, here's a question for you, Woody. Was it the CEO for Battlefield 3? I feel like I'm messing up my positions here, but I knew Battlefield 3 threw down the gauntlet and says we're going to go toe-to-toe in advertisement with Call of Duty. And we're going to out-advertise them. We're going to put, so much ridiculous amount of money into it. Do you think they've done that? Do you think they've done an effective job of building up the hype more than Modern Warfare 3?
I am so the worst guy to ask. I am never exposed to any advertising. What happened is like 3 years ago, my daughter started acting like Hannah Montana, and we pulled the plug. Like, there's no TV in this house. There's no nothing. She like wagged her finger and gave attitude, and I'm like, oh, that's the end of that, baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah, are they advertising? I don't know. I watch their YouTube uploads, and that's about it.
All right.
Well, let me just like to add. I'd have to say yes, just based off of one thing only. Like, obviously everyone knows me. I'm an audio guy. The sound of these trailers and the way that they present the trailers, like, right, you have this like distorted sound that comes in. It creates so much tension, and I don't know. For me, like just when I start hearing the trailer, the audio for these trailers just
it's good brand. It's good brand.
Yeah, it's huge. It just has a big feeling to it. It's really, really cool.
Definitely.
One thing that has occurred to me, and I was even thinking that while he asked, is like, well, I can't talk to the advertising that they're doing. The vibe I get from the amount of R&D they're doing, it looks like Battlefield 3's put a lot more effort into that release than Modern Warfare 3 has.
I agree.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing until they announced COD XP. Like for a while, I was like, for a while I thought they were, I think we talked about it before. Is what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're just letting Battlefield blow them out of the water.
And it felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did.
What's cool about COD XP again?
Well, just the fact that something about $1 million prize or something that they're trying to advertise, and the reveal, Woody, the multiplayer reveal. You're not excited about that? I guess not. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I was thinking of the website, the what is it called? Is it called COD XP? What is their? I'm at a loss. Help me.
The COD Elite or
COD Elite? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That to me is like, oh, really? So now you have a website next to your game. And COD XP, yeah, they're making a scrapyard. I'm gonna be there. I'm bringing all my own paintball gear and stuff. Like, I'm not actually a really great paintball player. I'm not, but by having like much better weapons and equipment than everyone else, I think I can do well. I'm psyched to to do some damage in the paintball.
I worry about the scrapyard. What was that movie with? Was it called The Gamer or something like that? Where it's like the real life people that are playing FPS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person in the. Okay, move on. Only person.
I mean, it still kind of is the next topic. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, we wanted to talk. We have a couple different topics to talk about with Call of Duty, so we're calling this Call of Duty mashup. We can start with the fact that they have announced that there are going to be dedicated servers for the PC, but not for the console. Do you think that was a bad move?
I wonder what the challenge is there, right? Like, why can't they do that? And so I have two lines of thinking, right? One, this is just going back to the, say, COD 4 days. And I think World at War was built the same way, where they had dedicated servers for the PC, but not for the console. One thing I've noticed when they have dedicated servers for the consoles, it's not all wonderfulness, right? Like, oh, there's dedicated servers, the game comes out, well, you can't get in a game. Week and a half goes by, and you still can't get into a darn lobby. You can't enter as teams. These things are full. When Bad Company 2 came out, it was like 10 days before you could play that thing. And when Medal of Honor came out, you could play, but you couldn't play as a group. Didn't Homefront have similar issues?
Lobby front. That's
yes.
Awful.
So everyone's like, "Oh, dedicated servers! I totally want them because I hate lag." Okay, just remember that the servers don't automatically scale with the player base like they do when your Xbox is host. So you run into problems getting into games, joining a team, stuff like that.
And I think people are saying that because of Black Ops. And Treyarch isn't making Modern Warfare 3. And I think Infinity Ward has the mindset that you shouldn't fix what isn't broke. And Modern Warfare 2 didn't have like humongous or bad, I should say, lag problems. And I think games like Homefront put a sour taste in people's mouths when it comes to those dedicated servers. Like, it means nothing to me now, after Homefront.
It means less to me, and it's not just Homefront. It's like the whole series. All these things that it's Homefront, Bad Company 2. Now I know if you play Bad Company 2 today, then it's really great. But when they come out and when the games are hot, it feels like the dedicated servers are not everything that you dream of them being. And yeah, if they somehow came out with so much capacity that you couldn't overrun it, that would be great. But I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You would think they have the resources to do it by now, though. I mean, it's the biggest video game in the world.
It's the biggest entertainment release in the world.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in that by saying that?
I think they've already broke the record for pre-orders. Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I want to say I heard something beat the first week sales of Black Ops since it came out. I forget what it was. Maybe some movie. But Modern Warfare 3 will probably reclaim that title again. And there's no doubt that it's just huge. For people that don't know, when Black Ops came out, the release had sold more than anything in books, anything in music, anything in movies, anything, and I'm missing something. But anything in the entertainment history of the planet, Black Ops did a better first release. And Modern Warfare 2 did before its release.
Yeah, it'll just keep going.
I think so.
Other news in Call of Duty is that they've come out with a new engine. Right
Mm.
now, is it called ID Tech 3? Am I right there? I'm so
I
unprepared.
think it's 4, right? If 4 is the new one.
4 is the new one. 3
I
is
think
what
so.
Call of Duty has built itself upon up until this point. But it's gonna be hard to tell. People are saying this is gonna kill Call of Duty. They're gonna have to completely re-engine or rework the game based on this new engine if they want to compete with these new games that are going to use this new engine. Do you think it's going to change things that much?
No.
I look at it a different way. Like I've heard a lot of guys say, "Oh, it's going to kill Call of Duty because there's this new thing coming along," and to me, it's like, no, it's going to save Call of Duty.
Yeah,
right now, Call of Duty is
absolutely.
suffering because Battlefield 3 has a new engine and they don't. Well, maybe for the Treyarch release, and we'll see because Treyarch doesn't, from the outside, doesn't look like they do as much engine work as Infinity Ward does.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, oh well, next Infinity, 2 years from now, maybe there'll be a new engine that they can base their stuff on, and that'll be great for Call of Duty. Suddenly, Call of Duty is going to play like Call of Duty and look like Battlefield 3. Like I think it's good for the series that finally the underlying engine has been updated. Not bad for the series.
Yeah, I mean it can only get better, and Call of Duty is a brand.
That's true.
I mean for them to screw this brand up would be amazing to me. I mean, it's only going to get better too. Engines don't get worse, so they're going to look at the last engine. They're going to tweak it. They're going to improve the graphics. They're going to improve hopefully the networking. Blah blah blah. It can only get better, and people buy Call of Duty now because it's a monolith. It's the name, and it's the biggest game in the world. So I think it's only going to help them.
And they've invested time in it, right? Like if I don't know, Osmos was an equally neat game that everyone loved. Like I suck at that game, I've already have experience in Call of Duty. Like I have a general idea on how that game flows. So when
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 3 comes out, I'm going to be better than the version of me was, when I just entered it back in COD 4.
Yep, absolutely. I think they're going to make sure that they don't change the mechanics of the game and how it plays, the controls. The perks aren't going to go away. Kill streaks aren't going to go away because all that stuff has made it better, and it's what's made it take off.
Right. Yeah. I would be surprised to learn that when they built that engine, if they didn't have Call of Duty in mind as a customer for it.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Cool. Let's go ahead and transition into our last topic here, which is shooting the shit. And it's just kind of a way to wind down before we end the video. If you have any stories or anything you want to talk about, that maybe that's happened this week. Ben, you haven't talked for a while. Let me put you on the spot, man. What you got?
Well, I wanted to stay out of that last one because I can make absolutely no contribution to any of that game mechanic. I just play video games. That's all I do. I don't know anything about them. Nothing about the inner workings of it. Ivan had to try to explain like megabytes and stuff for uploading stuff today. Didn't succeed very well, so I wanted to stay out. But on the topic of, will that, sign the end of the Call of Duty series? What will, like, I didn't want to say it during that, but what will, like, it's not going to be around forever. Is it just slowly just going to run its course? Is it just going to, just like
something will come out of nowhere? I think. Something.
You know what I think it'll be? I think that when the next generation of consoles comes out, it will level the playing field. People will look at release titles in a way that they don't look at just like subsequent updates, and that will be an opportunity for a new game to take over. Whoever takes advantage of the next platform the best, like Halo did when it jumped into the lead. Like Call of Duty was a really great 360 release. It was one of the release titles that came with it, COD 2. I think when the Xbox 720 comes out or whatever it's called, then whoever takes full advantage of that platform, whoever makes a game that would still look good 3 years from now in that standard, it has a chance to dethrone Call of Duty.
So we're that far away
from what is it?
No, I mean just not.
I think so. Is that? I mean, so it's what, end of 2011 now? Yeah, we might be 3.5 years away. That's
wow.
It's going to take so much though, because if you look at where Call of Duty is now, and the phenomena that it's become, like you were saying, Woody, it's sold more than any other entertainment media in the world. But when COD came out, it wasn't going up against this incumbent that everybody that was ubiquitous, that everybody knew about. It's going to take a lot.
I think it was going up against Halo. Maybe Halo at the time wasn't what COD is now, so I see your point. But Halo owned the Xbox shooter platform, and the fact that anyone could have dethroned it would have been hard to predict. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, it was with a completely different type of gameplay. I mean, we could go back and forth on this all day, but Halo, you had to be good. Like you had to know what the hell you were doing. And it was really hard for someone like, my sister or my dad to pick up the controller and get a kill. They just ran around and got killed and didn't understand why their bullets weren't doing as much damage as everybody else's. And with Call of Duty, it's very approachable. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast, how approachable Call of Duty is, and that, I think, is what has made it the success that it is. People who suck balls can play this game and still find some way to enjoy it.
That's called Ghost and Second Chance. Well, what about what? Well, I mean, wasn't Halo like? I mean, didn't they have the trilogy? I mean, wasn't it going to run its course whenever the storyline ran up?
That's true. I don't think that they expected the multiplayer to be more popular. I think there was a transition at some point with games in general to where multiplayer became more of a focus than the storyline.
Yeah, like Unreal, I think, was probably the turning point, right? Unreal Tournament.
And I'm still stuck on that. You need this disrupting event to change the tides here. And to me, like, is it going to be this Battlefield engine? Maybe. It feels kind of long shot-ish. I hate that. I know the Battlefield guys are going to hate me for saying that. It feels a little bit long shot-ish that it's going to dethrone Call of Duty because it has a new engine. But the new console platforms, when the PS3 and the Xbox come out and they leapfrog where they are now, I guess that wouldn't be leapfrogging. It'd just be taking another step. But when that comes out, that's the major disruptive event that's going to level the landscape and give someone else an opportunity to pass it. That's where I think we are.
I think they're going to have to be 60 frames per second, though.
Yeah.
You can feel the difference. You really can. Yeah. People say that you can. But your eyes sees for 60 frames a second.
No, it doesn't.
For sure, you can see the difference. And I think that's people say the controls on Battlefield are clunky, right? Like he turns a little slower, he jumps a little slower, everything. I think that's because he'd be like, lagging, like teleporting and stuff if it were at 30 frames per second. If it were at 60. What am I saying? If it were at 30 and the guy moved with the same agility that a COD player moves, then there'd be like missing frames. You have to slow this guy down.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. All right, do we have any other shit to shoot? Any other shitting going on?
Yeah, you know what I'm doing tomorrow?
What are you doing?
I got a big birthday party. I'm making a for real IRL Angry Birds course in my yard.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you gonna shoot real dead birds?
No, I'm making them out of water balloons.
Wait, they're alive when you shoot them, and then they go barreling into whatever object it is. So Eric's gonna kill a bunch of birds tomorrow.
So yeah, everybody can get drunk and play Angry Birds in real life.
What's crazy is my 2-year-old niece loves that game. She has no idea how to play it.
It changed the way I poop.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Gommel.
Great.
That was great.
I can't say anything. Last show I said that if you see a comment on your YouTube page, it's most likely that I was pooping at that exact same moment.
That's right. If I comment on your video, I'm pooping. Grunt me out another comment.
Honestly, that's my time to catch up on YouTube videos, man. I swear to God.
It's hard.
How'd this podcast get started?
That's a difficult question. I don't know. It just started between me and Ben, actually. And I watch a lot of ESPN, and I was like, what a cool concept. Why didn't there one like that on games? And so, I went the very obvious route. I'm not trying to hide the fact that this is very much like Pardon the Interruption, so I called it Pardon the Dashboard. And I figured it was just kind of a way to interact with people on a regular basis without getting too cheesy. Do you know what I'm saying?
What made you want to do it, though? Like, it's, every week?
Because I would do it every week anyway, just in the office. Like, I'd spin my chair around and talk to the guys in the office. And I enjoyed that, that 5 minutes of dorkiness, that you have when you first get in the office, where you're all talking about games. And if I enjoy it, I think I'm a normal person. I think other people might enjoy it. So I kind of want to bring that
Debatable.
to YouTube. Debate.
Yeah, I was with you until there.
Yeah, my picture might say otherwise.
And Woody, I had actually found Merrill because I was taking advice of you, Kyle, and Wings, and I forget what episode of Painkiller it was, where y'all said about networking and challenge your own size and knowing people, and I took that to another level to the point I was spamming people. Like, hey, let's talk, me and you. We do a video.
Hey, buddy.
Video, and then we never talk to each other again. But Merca Durka had actually tweeted a link to Merrill's channel, and it said something like, I think I found the next great YouTuber or commentator or something like that. And I saw he was a veteran, and I sent him a message and be like,
I had 40.
Hey, I know you're in the Army, and I'm Marine Corps, and we don't get along, but let's talk.
Yeah, and your partner there, Woody Sasbin, gave me my first big break. He had some type of competition on the Huppet website, and he said, submit your videos. I'm going to pick the person I like the most and do a dual-com with you. And I threw my videos in there, and he picked me. I felt very special.
Very cool. That's how Tryhard Ninja got known too. We did this thing. It was a competition, and basically it was make a video. It has to be musical and gaming related. I forget. And Tryhard Ninja belted out this song about it was to Elton John's, like that's why they call it the blues, and he sang about noob tubes, and it was so amazingly good. No one else would bother to enter. It was just, he blew up. He really didn't.
And then he did the Shucks video with you, and
then Shucks you, and he's always down to do more. I don't know. I haven't been a lyric writing guy lately, but I have to do another one with him. I know it would turn out great.
All right, we're already way over our time limit, guys. Do you have anything else you want to put out before we end this episode?
Don't everybody talk at once.
That'll do.
Woody, appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And Eric, it's always fun having you on, bud.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm still doing here, but thanks for having me, guys.
I always ask for him to come back, and he's like, "Are you sure?"
Next time, I want my picture in the live stream to be a history shot. It'll be black and white too, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're good. So you're coming back.
I think we should all do sweat poses and see who can do the best one.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Who has the best sweat copy photo? I like that.
There you go. All right, guys. This is episode 23 with IXI Sweat, Chaos Math, and Woody's Gamertag. Let's see. I usually end a lot better than that. Let's see. I usually have.
As always, this is a team effort.
As always, this is a team effort. This is a team effort. If you're watching the live stream, make sure you head by my channel. I'm on it now. I got it. I'm on my little spiel here. Head by SergeantMerrell's channel and check out the final product. Fuck it. We're sending out. Like this video.